All right. Let's get it revved up in the Jar Football Show, number 205. I'm your host, Clark Dupree, coming to you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Horse country, as some call it. The bluegrass, others may call it. SEC country to some. Although I don't believe that this athletic program is up to standards with the rest of this great Southeastern Conference, and it's all their own doing. Today's feature discussion, Kalen Deboer was extended as head coach at the University of Alabama not an hour ago. Breaking news with Kalen Deboer down there at Alabama. They are going to set that place on fire, y'all. And we're going to talk about it here we got you for 30 good minutes, I would guess. The Deboer discussion is going to carry today's show. We're actually going to react to the reactions of Alabama fans on Reddit. It's an interesting mix. It's an interesting bunch, and you think about the expectations that the Alabama fan base probably has because of what they've experienced with Saban all those years. 30 SEC championships or whatever, maybe more. 17 or some national championships. I think 18 maybe. And so we'll look at the reaction of Alabama fans. And we might talk about some draft, we might not. I mean, the Bengals don't have a first-round pick. They got him already. They got their first-round pick. And I think the draft is a lot more fun from a lens of being a fan of a team that is picking in the first round. I don't know if that makes sense. It made sense in my head. Obviously, the Bengals have got second round and onward. And there's insiders in the NFL saying that the Bengals might not be done making splashes. Can you imagine? I cannot. But how sick would that be? The Bengals make another splash on draft night throughout the draft. There's some insiders saying that. Now, could a lot of that be buzz from the Dexter Lawrence move completely? And we've talked about on the show before with the Jalen Hurts whistleblower. You're always going to have some reporter that's eager to break a story. And so you could have any kind of conversation. If you're an ESPN insider, you could have a conversation with someone in ticket sales. And just because they're excited about the direction of the Bengals or whoever, you know, this insider could be like, well, there's talks about the Bengals front office making more splashes. Am I expecting more splashes? No. This is how you know you're in a good place. The draft, as a Bengals fan sitting here today, feels like just icing on the cake. If we started the season tomorrow, I'm happy with the roster. I'm happy with the defense for Cincinnati. Who wouldn't, you know, a blind person would be the only person unhappy about the Bengals offense, you know? So we might talk some about the draft. I saw a YouTube thumbnail actually with it was a thumbnail with that Rodriguez kid at the linebacker position out of Texas Tech. I'm sitting here thinking that would be sick. But anyway, so maybe the Bengals draft linebackers. I don't know. But Alabama, okay, I didn't get let me pull up the details. Kalen Deboer, new contract. I had it. It's on my Instagram story. I can't remember. Contract extension. 7 years. Kalen Deboer, new contract, 7 years, $87.5 million. And I'm telling y'all right now, if I was a Bama fan, I would be pissed. Pissed. I'm surprised they ain't burning that city down right now. What are these people watching? The people that are signing the dotted lines on DeBoer's contract. I'm not a Bama fan. Lived in Birmingham for 4 years, down at Samford University. And I saw how important Alabama was to people down there in Birmingham. And I'm sitting here thinking, when I got this contract extension news an hour ago with Kalen Deboer, my first thought was, I was thinking about how I drove 4.5 hours from Phoenix down to Pasadena to watch the Rose Bowl. And I thought, this is an intriguing game. Number one, I had never been to a Rose Bowl before. So you cross that off the list. It's cool, whatever. But you looked at that matchup going into the game, Alabama and Indiana. And to me, I thought that was a really intriguing matchup. I had seen the way that Bama had clawed back against Oklahoma in the game before that one. On the road, they're down 17. And I'll beat my own chest for a second. I took Alabama money line when they were down 17-0 and made some good money on that game. And the reason I took Bama was because my thought was Bama's still Bama. That was my thought during the Oklahoma game. And it was confirmed when they literally, I take this money line bet. Alabama's on the road, down 17 to Oklahoma. I say, Bama's Bama. I'm going to take the money line. See if I can get some juice out of it. Got the juice. I think I hit 8-1 on that or something. And that was from a commentary perspective. And I lost money on Bama that next game against Indiana. That was the worst thing that could have happened for people that have a stake in Alabama football's success. Because it's kind of like what the Bengals do to you or have done to you. They're not going to do that anymore. They dangle the carrot. They say, look what this can be. Look how good this team can be. Oh, too fast or too slow. Look what this team can be. And I think that's what's really frustrating as a fan. For Alabama fans right now, the frustration might be, what could this program continue to be? So we'll go on Reddit and we'll look at Alabama fan reactions. I can't imagine what Perry's Steakhouse down at the Summit in Birmingham is going to be like tonight. I feel like the energy up in there is probably going to be a little tense after this unexpected Kalen Deboer contract extension that seems to be against everybody's will. Seems a lot like the U.S. foreign relations right now. They're doing one thing, but the people of our country say that we don't need to be selling out to other countries. I don't know if that's making sense. It's my job on a podcast to make sense. But it seems like the majority of Alabama fans do not want Kalen Deboer as their head coach. And the news breaks here that they're not just not going to get rid of Deboer. Bama fans thought they were stuck with Deboer for the next 2 years before the buyout got manageable. Now you're really stuck with him for the next 7. And I don't even know what the buyouts will look like on this contract. These they are professionals. These agents for college football coaches, their negotiation tactics need to be studied. Same with Kirk Cousins' agent. Because how in the hell do you convince a university president or an athletic director how a buyout schedule like these college football coaches are getting makes sense? Jimmy Sexton, he's apparently a big-time agent. Don't know much more about him other than the fact that he represents Kirby, Kiffin, all of the creme de la creme head coaches. He manages them. I don't know if these agents have dirt on these university presidents, these athletic directors. I don't know if they are in the Illuminati and that gives them the power to negotiate like nobody else. I don't know. But you extend Deboer basically against, to me, the will of the entire Alabama fan base. You look at this Reddit thread, and we're going to react to it right now. And some of these Bama fans are saying, no, let's give Deboer a chance. Let's give Deboer a chance. And they're kind of coming up with some excuses on Kalen Deboer's behalf. Listen, guys, I drove down to that Rose Bowl game because I thought it was going to be a spectacle. I thought it was going to be a great game. Old money versus new money. Alabama, Kalen Deboer's inconsistent Alabama football team against Kurt Cignetti's rising power Indiana Hoosiers. Thought that was really intriguing, especially how Alabama had fought and overcame adversity the game before against Oklahoma on the road. And let me tell you, I was sitting in the top row of that Rose Bowl stadium, and I could still see how defeated that Alabama unit was. You watch the guy. I mean, I wish you guys could have been there with me at that Rose Bowl. It was a defeated team before the first quarter was even over. Defeated. I'm talking body language. I'm talking effort. Every ounce of grit that Alabama team seemed to show against Oklahoma in that first-round CFP game seemed to be in a different stratosphere during that Rose Bowl game. And it was a great Indiana team. You got to give Indiana credit. And they continued to run through the rest of the field. I think Ole Miss would have given them an entirely better ball game than Alabama did. And so the word for Kalen Deboer's program up to this point has been inconsistent. And if I'm an Alabama fan, I want consistency. What fan doesn't want consistency? I mean, look, it's football. It's going to be full of highs and lows. Some people are blaming Alabama's last season on Ty Simpson being quarterback. And I think to piggyback on that, it's absolutely preposterous to think about Ty Simpson going high in the draft. I think he comes across to me as a nervous kid. He doesn't, and I'm not trying to hate. I'm trying to give my honest assessment. He just doesn't seem like he stays very calm out there. Mike G in the chat, 691 says, get a clue, dude. You get a clue. Guy Shafor says, come on, man, don't yell at me. I just get passionate about this shit, brother. Being an Indian, I found you handsome mate. That's very nice. I don't enjoy Indian food. I think it's terrible. I'm sorry, but it's just the way I feel about it. Okay. I was out on Kalen Deboer after I saw that Rose Bowl game in person. I'm not an Alabama fan. I think Alabama's success is very important to the SEC, or has been. And I have an affinity for the area and the people and a connection there. So I would like to see Alabama football succeed. I don't think they will do so under Kalen Deboer. And I think this contract will be a mistake on behalf of the University of Alabama. I really hope I'm wrong. And I very well could be. That's the thing about doing what I do here on this show every day. You can drop takes and be wrong and still do very well. And So I ain't worried about making a bad take. But if you watch that Rose Bowl in person with me, you would have seen too, and a lot of you probably did, how defeated that team was. And there is no head coach that should be allowed to continue, in my book, when they allow the morale and the spirit of the team to get that bleak before a game is even over. That's a big complaint from Alabama fans, is that Kalen Deboer is not a motivator of men. He's not a leader of men. There's not the same attention to detail that they have in the building that they had when Saban was around. Now, that's a really high bar, maybe the highest bar. And that in itself, on the macro, might be Alabama's biggest problem. Is that maybe they set a standard that only one guy like that can set, ever. Now, Bear Bryant did it. Nick Saban did it. I think there's a... And then I saw a comment on this Alabama Reddit that pickings are slim for head coaches in college football. Dude, it's Alabama. I'd have half a mind to say that if Alabama's job came open, that they could get Lane Kiffin to head over there. It's Alabama. And the Saban shine is so special that that the shine is still there regardless of what's happened the last couple of years to me. So you might as well go get your guy while you still have some Saban shine on your program. That's just me. I think this Kalen Deboer extension is a huge mistake for Alabama. You're not going to have buy-in from the fans on it. You're going to have the opposite. I thought Alabama fans were going to be enraged. But the Reddit thread has actually been like very reasonable, like very forgiving. Texting a buddy back here. This is a live show. It's in the Jar Football Show. Make sure if you're enjoying, ladies and gentlemen, that you double tap the screen there for me. I really appreciate it. You now have the ability to send gifts on the channel. Yes, we are finally monetized. It's not about that. It's not about the result of even getting that. We would show up and do this for you every single day if we got nothing out of it for the rest of our lifetime and do it till we die. And that's my pledge to you. We will always be here. So if you enjoy what we're doing, what we're talking about, you can double tap the video. You can subscribe. We got a membership community that we just launched today. If you want special perks, if you want exclusive videos, I might start putting, this is just an idea, but I might start putting my grappling tournament vlogs on the exclusive membership page. So check all of it out. I've always said I won't ask y'all for nothing except to like and subscribe to the page. But if your heart leads you in the direction of becoming a member in our cherished, growing community, all power to you. And we appreciate any icing on the cake that you choose to support with from there. In a Jar Football Show. What a show. It's my show. Solo show. Football show. And sometimes, man, football goes outside of them painted white sidelines. Sometimes, when we're talking about football, we're talking about golf. Sometimes, when we're talking about football, we're talking about pickleball. Sometimes, when we're talking about football, we're talking about fighting. We're talking about martial arts. Football, good football, can be played in a lot of ways. So I don't think this Deboer extension is good for Alabama. Not today, I don't. Not after seeing that Rose Bowl and the body language of those players. Well before the game was over. Well before. It'd be one thing if there was no shot with a minute or two left and somebody made a mistake or two. Even that, you're at a high level of football. It's on you to stay focused throughout the game. But, God, you should have seen the body language of this Alabama program in the first quarter of the Rose Bowl game. It was really sad. I think a lot of y'all did. And I just don't know if a coach allows his team to get to that state ever deserves to have the reins of a great program like Alabama. Let alone get an extension. I can't imagine where that extension ranks amongst the highest paid coaches in college football. So, Alabama, not in the best spot. Let's see if we missed anything here on the Reddit thread here. And then my buddy is coming to get me. We're going to go on a little male date. We're going to go have some dinner because we love food. Stayed loyal and was rewarded. Give Kalen time. If major programs are constantly trying to poach your coach, you shouldn't be so eager to get rid of him. I don't know who's trying to poach him. I haven't heard about that, but that's an Alabama fan, so maybe they know more than me. For those questioning this, I ask you, if not him, then who else? It's slim pickings out there. I'm telling you guys, I really feel like Alabama could get Lane Kiffin to come over there. Maybe not now, and that kind of defeats my whole take, but my goodness, man, if they had chosen to, I don't know. Really, what happened with me was I saw that Rose Bowl. It was curtains. And so expecting them to get rid of him, I would have expected them to get rid of him after that. Definitely not before that. The team had some juice leading into that game, and then it just deflated. But after that Rose Bowl game, if Alabama had acted and said, we're not going to tolerate the type of body language from our players like you allowed, Kalen Deboer allowed for the boys to get to that state, we're going to fire you. I bet they could have. Well, and then the Lane Kiffin thing happened so fast over there because he's out of there before Ole Miss even plays in the Sugar Bowl, which was the same day as that Rose Bowl. So, no, maybe that's why LSU acted so fast. Maybe LSU, I don't know, man. The timing of that is so strange. The timing of that is so strange. Do y'all think that Alabama would have hired Lane Kiffin if LSU hadn't poached him so quick? That's incredible to think about because I said it here on the show. Fans of the show remember this. I thought that the only program, and I was wrong, kind of, I felt that the only program that Lane Kiffin would have left Ole Miss for would have been Alabama. Now, he obviously left for LSU. But you look at the top, traditionally the top two programs, especially in the 2010s, in all of college football, Alabama and LSU. Majority of the 2010s. Alabama, LSU, when they got together every year, absolute cinema. They were the top two programs in college football. And so you carry that into the Lane Kiffin situation. Hindsight's 2020. I felt like the only programs Alabama or Lane Kiffin would have left Ole Miss for would have been Alabama or LSU. Because I think those programs still possess a lot of the power and the aura that they gained throughout all of the 2010s. Could that be nostalgic bias? Absolutely. They're saying Kalen Deboer is an in-demand coach. Somebody said that they think that this extension could have waited another year. I like that take. Inconsistent, like I said earlier. Building anew can take time and needs faith. Not everyone can have a Cignetti turnaround story. There are no Nick Sabans at CFB anymore. So, man, that kind of happens with the Bengals too. Kentucky fans and basketball. You got these apologists in the fan bases that will shill for the team or the organization at all costs. I think it's complete cope for an Alabama fan to say we need to give Kalen Deboer time and grace and faith. Watch that Rose Bowl game back and report back to me on the body language of that team. Should any head coach, let alone at a program like Alabama, allow his team to get to that state ever? If I have high standards for my program, I'm saying no. But that's just me. You should have seen the body language of these kids in the first quarter of the Rose Bowl. Before it was even over. Before the first quarter was even over. If you don't coach it, you allow it. In the Jar Football Show number 205. I thought that was special because we're talking about Alabama. And Hallow 205, Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham, Alabama. It's also got the same area code. Listen, you enjoyed the show, hit that subscribe button, double tap the screen, and you can now give gifts. You can join the clan, holler at me. You can be a real gangster if you join this community right here as we are coming up in the Jar Football Show. Just getting started. Holler at me. Y'all take care. I'm going to go eat some food, baby. Bye-bye now.